Hey guys, it's Brandon again, and this week, the second week in our Halloween review series, I will be reviewing the original Friday the 13th and the remake. Just to let you know, there's going to be a heck of a lot of spoilers in this review, because this is a really long series. This is the first in the series. This is technically the 12th in the series. So I'm going to give away a few things, going to relate this to the other parts of the series, since this is not truly a remake, and just give my own personal opinion on both of them. Neither of these films are considered particularly good. This is one of the original slasher films, came before most of them, besides Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, hint hint. And to be honest, it's a kind of a cheesy movie. There's a lot of deaths in it. Betsy Palmer's in it, and Kevin Bacon before he became famous in films like X-Men First Class and Hollow Man. But I kind of enjoy it. It's a camp horror film. It popularized the forest/camp setting, and it's decent. It's not amazing, but it's decent. There's a lot of mystery in it building up to who the killer is. Spoiler, it's Mrs. Voorhees, who is Jason's mother. Let me go ahead and talk about this film for a minute. Now, this film is not really a remake. It sort of collects all the best parts of the past 11 films. Yeah, 11 films. And puts them all in this one film. And I think that's a really cool idea. In comparison to most of the horror remakes, all they do is retell the original story. Like Nightmare on Elm Street remake, that just told the story of the first film. Whereas this has, I wouldn't say it's an original story, because most of the stories in Friday the 13th movies are the same. Kids go to Camp Crystal Lake, kids have a lot of sex, kids die, Jason wins. But the things that happen are quite original. Like, he kidnaps a girl who looks like his mother, who had her head chopped off at the beginning of the film. And he doesn't kill her, he keeps her. He locks her up in his little, like, basement kind of hideaway place. And he looks after her. It's really strange, because he's never really had a soul. He's not really much of a character. But then in this, they kind of give him a character arc. He basically watches his mother die at a really young age because she's trying to avenge him, because she thinks that he drowned and died. Then he has the potato sack on his head that he had on in the original Friday the 13th Part 2. And then he progresses to find the hockey mask. And the one thing I don't like is that we see his face really early on. I think in about Part 4 originally, we saw his face. It was all zombified and really messed up. But in this, maybe 30 minutes in, you see his face, and I'm not too keen on that. It was always a mystery as to what Jason looked like. You could see his eye was like lower down, but that's all you could see. In this, they show it really early on. It doesn't look the best. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on it, really. But then he finds a hockey mask, and that's obviously his trademark, and that's what he wears for the rest of the series. It's more or less the same gist of all the Friday the 13th movies. There's a heck of a lot of sexual content in this film, and it's still really pointless. It's kind of sad to see that slasher films feel that they still have to stick to those cliches of loads of sex, loads of violence, crappy story, everyone dies, villain wins. But that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed watching this film. I watched it with my girlfriend, and she was jumping every 2 minutes. I've seen this before, but she hadn't, and every 2 minutes Jason was like crashing through a window, he was stabbing someone, running after someone, appearing behind them, and she was just... So I kind of played a trick on her, and I dressed up as Jason, and I chased around my kitchen. She got scared, I had laughs, she beat me up. Yeah. But I do recommend this. It's not terrible. It's okay. It's a fun film to watch. There's obviously no story here for anyone. The effects are not too bad. There's quite a few nice death scenes. There's a guy that's on a speedboat, and there's a girl trailing behind him, and you just see this arrow like fly straight, hits him in the eye. He turns around and he falls. And the girl sees Jason, and he's trying to kill her, obviously. So she swims away. She hides, and she holds her breath underneath this like boardwalk. And she thinks that he's disappeared. He gets a machete straight through her head, pulls her up, and yeah, she's dead. There's a few cool death scenes. There's nothing as imaginative as earlier films, to be honest. It's all kind of, I throw an axe at you, you get hit in the back, then you fall on your back, and the axe goes through you. But it's decent. I would recommend it. I enjoyed it. And the original is, yeah, I've already said it's kind of cheesy, but there are some good things in it. Kevin Bacon especially, he portrays his character really well. The special effects by Tom Savini, who also did Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. His special effects in this are really good. There's a bit where Kevin Bacon is laying on the bed. Mrs. Voorhees' like hand comes across his forehead, and she puts an arrowhead through his neck, and the blood's all squirting out, and it looks really cool. It kind of looks a bit strange when it's like a bird's eye view of him laying on the bed, because you can obviously tell that the neck's prosthetic. But besides that, it's really cool. Mrs. Voorhees' character is, I don't know, it's strange. Betsy Palmer, who played her, got top billing in this film, but she's only in it for the last 20 minutes or so. She acts nice towards the last surviving girl, but then it goes really weird. She acts like she's half Jason and half Mrs. Voorhees. Like, she keeps saying, Mummy, kill them. And it's like, why are you Jason and Mrs. Voorhees? Isn't your personal vendetta against these teenagers who have sex and smoke weed and drink a lot, isn't that vendetta enough? It's really strange for her to have two reasons to kill these teenagers. It's sort of, I don't really like it. They could have done without it. But some of the death scenes are really cool, where the girl gets an axe in her face. That looks really good. Still looks good today. I'm not sure if I would recommend this film today. It's cheesy, the acting's pretty poor, besides Betsy Palmer and Kevin Bacon. But I guess I have to, because it's a classic. By now it is a classic. 1980 this film came out, and yeah, that's all I can say about it, really. It's fun. It's gross, it's grotesque, and it's a lot of fun. But if you've not seen this, I'd say go see this. Purely because it's about Jason. Everyone knows Friday the 13th has Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees in this only appears at the end when he's a dead zombified child and he's pulling her under the water. Now that's cool. That's one thing that no one expects in this film, because throughout the film Jason is not seen besides a small flashback by Mrs. Voorhees, and then right at the end he just creeps up out the water and he drags that girl under, and it's really creepy. This also sets the tone really well. It starts in 1958 and the moon is like full and there's a lot of fog and the forest trees are waving, and it just sets the mood really well for like a camp kind of horror film. And it progresses like that the rest of the way through the film. It is a consistent film. It's kind of dated, the acting's poor, it's really cheesy, and there's a lot of forgetful characters in this. But they all die anyway, so what does it matter? This, everything I just said can apply to that. Besides, there are some well-known actors in it, and the character of Jason is in the forefront of the film, unlike the original. So, if I was going to recommend one of the films and you hadn't seen the original, it would have to be this. Join me next week when I will be reviewing the remake and original of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hope you've enjoyed this review, and goodbye.